There. Need to do this for any class I do. Okay. So you got all these downloaded?
Yep. The three that you
Perfect.
said.
The Advanced Duplicator, Improved Stacker, Precision Tool, and the Smart Weld. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Also going to go over to event information. When you go over to event information, you're going to scroll up a little bit. You're going to have Larry's prop counter. This is another very important one. So make sure you download this one. We're going to go over the notes first, and then we'll go more into the stuff that's going to help you out here. Just want to make sure before we go into notes that we get all this downloaded for you. And then we'll go over other stuff in here as well.
It's done downloaded.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go over the notes first for this week. Stuff that happened last week that needs to be gone over. So just pay attention, tune in. Have any questions at the end, let me know. But swapping the map. This is something you can't do yet, but naturally, we must swap the map to an event map after briefing is over for every event. That being said, it is vital that you know when briefing is over. Map swaps should never happen while the GC is still speaking. Just pay attention and save everyone the trouble. So, you know how we always swap the map after briefing's over? It just needs to be, you need to make sure if you are swapping the map that the GC is done reading the ping first. Lore events. Whenever we choose to run events based on lore characters/events, you must be careful regarding what you do when it comes to killing off/capturing characters. Lore characters cannot die or remain indefinitely captured. Lore events by all means are allowed. You must simply be careful. I did a Ryloth campaign this week, and at the end of it, Wat Tambor ended up getting captured. So right after it, I did a passive event where the CIS freed Wat Tambor. So Wat Tambor wasn't indefinitely captured by the Republic. So if you are doing lore events, make sure you're just following the lore and don't kill off like Grievous or something.
Mm-hmm.
Using your commands. Your commands, such as !give or !give ammo, are for use only as an EC during an event or passive event. You should not be using them to aid yourself or other troopers while playing an event. Using your commands in such a manner is considered abuse and could result in punishment. So, if you are playing as a trooper during an event, just because you have the give ammo command or the give command does not mean you should be able to give yourself ammo or different weapons during a trooper life that you're not supposed to have at that time. Utilizing the material tool. The material tool is by far one of the most useful tools we have at our disposal, as it allows us to change how a prop looks. However, some props shouldn't be materialed, such as the tree props, as it can cause people who look at them to crash. If other people aren't materialing a certain prop, there's likely a reason for it. Follow suit. This is just really, this note is about trees. Don't materialize trees under any circumstance, okay? So we have a material tool that we will go over later. It's used to change how the prop looks, as the note says. Just never, ever, ever, ever use it on trees, okay? It bugs them out and causes people to crash. And then event voice etiquette. Under no circumstances should anyone be mean/rude to each other while on event voice. Doing so can and will result in punishment. You shouldn't be rude. You shouldn't be mean/rude regardless, but this is datably so doubly so while in event voice. Never seen that word before. Whatever. So don't be rude to people in event voice, even if they're your friends and you're just making a joke. It doesn't sound like a joke to other people. So just make sure you're being polite to each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we had for last week's notes. Any questions on any of these?
The material tool you said not to use on trees.
Yes, we'll go over that. So we're gonna
Okay.
go over some stuff in game now. I run 2 instances of Gmod. If you want to learn how to do that, and you have 2 Steam accounts that both have Gmod, you can talk with Gunhawk. He knows how to run 2 clients of Gmod if you have 2 Steam accounts. If you have just the 1 Steam account, I know Africa knows a method of being able to stay in game and be in single player, but if you're not interested in either, that's fine. But yeah, reach out to either of those two. They can help you with that. So, like what I'm doing right here, this is going to be a lore event. So I can just quickly show you my dupe and what I plan to do. See at the top left how I have a prop count of 655?
Mm-hmm.
That's not possible. because I'll tell you right now, my prop limit is 400. So if you want to know what your prop limit is, you can go into event information, and it will show you right here that as a TGM, your prop limit, the amount of props you can have down at one time, is 250. The amount of props I can have down is 400. So you need to stay within your 250 limit. Now you're going to ask, all right, well, you have a prop limit of 400. Why do you have 655? Because I split my dupe up into parts. So if you're considering on making a larger duplication that goes outside of your prop limit, you can split things up into parts. So if I remove this part, it's now back down to 529, and so on and so forth. So this is split up into ways where it's going to be, properly split up. But you see how, I have my terrain here? There's always cover somewhere. You want your droids to have cover. Because during events, if you're just spawning them out in the open, the immersion is taken away from the troopers, and it just doesn't make sense. So, always want to have your droids behind some sort of cover during events. So it kind of gives a story from where they're coming from. You can say they were deactivated behind that barrier, and now they reactivated when they came back up. It's just better for the troopers too. So anytime you're making an event, don't leave giant. Let's say this was my dupe. You don't want to leave giant open spaces. You always want to have a lot of cover. A lot of cover, a lot going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about why we do that, or?
No, I get it. I get it. It's for the scenery and
Yeah, the scenery, you
immersive.
want it to make it more immersive for the troopers, so on and so forth. So, let's do what's probably the hardest part, getting started. What map are you thinking you would want your first map to be? We'll start a dupe on there.
Probably the valley.
Dark Valley?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Dark Valley then. Dark Valley is a sketchy map due to the world props, but we'll show you how to get around that. So don't worry. World props are props that come with the map, but they don't count towards your prop limit. But if you incorrectly duplicate it into your dupe, they will count as double towards your prop limit, because you'll be counting those world props that weren't technically props into your dupe, therefore increasing your prop limit. And you'll see what I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Let's find one. Perfect. In this house. You see how this is a world prop? I can move this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a world prop. No matter what you do with this world prop, you can put it here, you can put it in a fucking bush somewhere, it's not going to matter. Because when the map loads up, these props are always going to go to that whatever location it was. Okay? So don't worry about world props if you see them in your game. Removing them won't do anything. They're just kind of here. Okay? So that's the big thing with Dark Valley. There is a lot of them. So you always want to know where you're starting. So the troops will always spawn here, right, in this big area right here. So I would suggest to never put any props here, because you're not supposed to put props in the spawn. So no matter where you are on the map, if you're confused about where you don't know where the troops will spawn, because you know how when you load into this map, you're always going to spawn here? Well, I spawned all the way over here by these houses. So you're not going to spawn where you're supposed to. So you need to be able to correctly identify where the players are going to spawn. Once you've got that in your head, you're going to start your dupe. So you could use the houses here. You could use any of this stuff. Probably one of the most popular methods of cover is the Kashyyyk barrier. So if you just type in cache, I'm going to wait for it to load. If it ever loads. It will eventually. Takes a minute. Here we go. It's going to be this thing right here. Kashyyyk Barricade 2. So, Kashyyyk Barricade is probably the most common form of cover you've seen. You can save it as a duplication. So you can use your advanced duplicator too. You can just put them down. You don't want to have straight paths of these, so this is like something you want to avoid. What I'm doing right here. Don't just do this, right? See how that's very obvious, the path you're supposed to go? It feels like a train of sorts. If you want to do a path, like you have a set path on where you want to go, you can stagger your barriers. You can have some of the bushes here, you can have some here, you can have one up on this hill here, you can have one here. Now this looks better, right? Your spawns are going to be staggered, which means the troopers aren't always going to know where you're going to spawn. So let's say I'm a trooper and I'm here. I don't know if you're going to spawn here, here, or in front of me. You can honestly do all three. You can honestly just do here. You can do here or just do there. It leaves it up to the less predictability for the troopers. Now, you don't only need to use this. You probably see this all the time. But there's several different forms of cover you can use. Like, so if you search a barrier, you can use these. You can use these. A very popular one, I'd say, is this or this on like smaller maps. But if you hold C, and then go to body groups, you can turn off the hollow. A lot of people, you tend to use these, the black one. So there's several forms of cover you can use. So you always want to make sure you're having cover when leading up to your objective. So let's say I'm building this event right now, right? So where would you want to stop first? Would you like to stop in these houses first? Would this be the first point of interest you'd like to go to?
Yeah, I'd probably make that like an old Republic area.
An Old Republic area? Okay. So let's start making it an Old Republic area real quick. Put some cover in here. If what I would like to do, I personally don't like the Kashyyyk barrier. I'll use crates or rocks as my cover. So like if this is like a Republic area, you can kind of just put some crates around. You know, make it scenic, right? But you also want to make sure you're paying attention to your top left, what your prop limit is. So see what's possible. If you need to split it up into parts, there's a way we can go about doing that. Right? Other people cannot spawn your dupe in for you unless it's an emergency and it's needed. But you need to always stay within your limit, which is 250. So remember that number, 250. So let's say this is the old Republic base, right? You're wanting to be a Republic base here. You got some cover in here. You got some crates around. So you got places. So what's the story? The droids took over the Republic base. So you got like droids and pirates in here.
Yeah, they raided it and destroyed it. There's some fucking ninja trooper in one of the houses while the droids are salvaging the supplies.
Okay, so there's an injured trooper in one of the houses, and they raided it, they destroyed it. So we can put the place on fire. I have some dupes, like fire dupes. So what I just did there, sorry, I probably should have explained this, but if you have a dupe and you want to move it off its height, you hold E and you scroll up and down with your mouse wheel. Also, if you'd like, you can be in single player right now if you want to copy some of the stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just to kind of go along with some of the tool things I'm doing. But see, like what I'm doing here, I'm putting fire around. I'm making the area scenic, right? I'm kind of adding to the story here.
Does those fire count as props?
Yes, they do.
Oh,
Unfortunately, they count as 3 props the way I made this dupe, because I wanted to make the fire, feel like a fire with different colors, yellow, orange, and red. And it's no collided, so you can walk through it. But people are always worried about staying in their prop limit. It's more advanced, so maybe your first one or two dupes you might not want to do splitting it up into parts unless you feel like you're ready to maintain that, because it's a lot of tool maintenance and it's just a lot of maintenance. So maybe try being as simple as you can, but you want to make the dupe feel alive as well. You have a big prop limit. It's 250. It used to be 150. It went up 100, so you have a lot more you can do with your dupes now as a TGM.
And where are these barriers at?
These barriers? Which ones are you looking for?
The ones that you just used the cache and all that fun stuff. Do you know where they're located at in the queue section?
In the queue section? I don't remember what packet is specifically, but I know if you just search up KASH, cache, you'll get this barrier.
You can also search up barricade, and it'll bring you like every barricade. It'll also bring up the Kashyyyk one.
Yeah. I'll show you how to save single props as a dupe real quick, so if you're tuning in. So let's say you just want to save one prop, because you don't want to have to keep holding Q, press this, put that down, press this, put it down. Alright, that'll get tiring, right? So You're still watching?
Yep.
You're gonna get your advanced duplicator 2, and you're gonna right click. You've selected this one prop. Anything you have welded to this prop will come along with this prop. So you want to make sure it's not welded. It's not welded to anything yet, right? So holding E will rotate it with your mouse. So hold E and you can move left and right with your mouse. That will move it, right? Again, like I said, if you hold E and then your scroll wheel up and down, that'll move it up and down. And then if you hold E and you rotate, you hold your scroll wheel, you can rotate it. So there's several different things you can do with the advanced duplicator. So let's say there's an uneven terrain, right? Like well, that's probably a bad
How do
example.
if I was to hold E and use my middle mouse to like rotate it like that, how do I reset the rotation?
I believe it's shift. Yeah, shift. So hold E and then shift. We'll reset it back to where it was. Well, you have to hold the mouse wheel. So like hold the mouse wheel like
I got you.
and then hold shift. Yep, and then that'll reset it. But you see how this is an uneven terrain? I would hold the scroll wheel to kind of get it where I need it. Like that. Put it up or down if needed. And then bam, got my barrier. Probably on a house is a bad idea, but we got it back. Okay, so now that you have it in your duplicator, what you're going to want to do is you want to double check, always double check when you're saving a dupe, because what happens sometimes is you wouldn't have right-clicked your dupe, but you thought you did. So what I do when I save things, I right-click it a bunch of times to make sure I have it. If you don't do that, there's a chance that you're not going to have it. But then to triple double check, you're going to see your dupe information. Your dupe information will tell you who made it, the date, the time, and the entities and constraints. We'll talk about constraints in a minute. But entities, that's the amount of props. So we have one entity, which is what I wanted, because I just want this as my dupe. So what I'll do now, if you right-click Advanced Duplicator 2, you can create folders. So if you just want this for small dupes, you can name it that. So like small one prop dupes. And you can make that folder.
Huh?
Okay. So it's going to be down here, right? You have nothing in this folder because there's no plus here. But if I right-click this folder and I hit save, I can name this what I want. I want this as cache barrier. Cache bear. It'll save. And before deleting anything that you have down, you always want to make sure your dupe is able to be spawned. So you'll double click it, it'll say opening, and there. I properly saved the dupe. So it's now properly in my folder. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alrighty, perfect. That's how you save dupes. We'll go about welding and everything too in a minute, but that's how you save basic dupes, right? Any questions on that?
No, I think that's what I was actually looking for before.
Okay. So you can have several dupes. It's probably like what I struggled with at the beginning is like I don't know where the fuck trenches is, what map this is on. You should always you should always try organizing your folders. Because you'll get to a point where you're just making folders and folders and folders. Because like now, I name what map this was on. I know what event this was. This was on Espa. This is when I was doing my Ryloth campaign. So I have several parts of this because I split my events into parts.
Yeah.
So you can edit, like, I don't know where Sand War is. I know it's somewhere, though. So always name your folders after the map you're doing. So we can make a new folder. This is Dark Valley. And we'll name this Republic something.
Another thing you can do, I personally just have a folder that is the map. Then I put my dupes in that folder.
Yeah, that could work too. As long as you know that where you're gonna have the proper dupe and how you're gonna properly get it for your event, it's fine. So I have nothing in this folder currently. We're still building the dupe, right? So what I say, I think this is my good point of when I'm building dupes, All right, I always think of every battalion, and I give each battalion 2 special objectives. You always want to be giving each battalion at least 2 special objectives so they stay interested throughout your entire event. So, what would be your plan after you send the troopers in here? What would be your plan? You've got your place set up, the place is on fire, the CIS have taken over. What are your EC interactions now?
Well, that building. What building is that? Is that this building? Oh, that's this building. The truck one.
The truck one? This one?
So if you go all the way in there and you go all the way to the right, it's a little like mountain area. How is your graphics so different than my graphics? The fuck?
Not sure. These are world props again, so be careful with these.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because your graphics are different than mine. But yeah, he'll be injured like somewhere on, either in the corner.
So he'll be injured? Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing you can do chemical spills. Let's go over that. So usually when I have injured people, I'll have blood on the ground. So you can go to your plastic props, and you can scroll down till you find one of the circles. This is a commonly used thing for chemical spills. This is something you can use for 91st as one of their special objectives, something they can do. So you have your thing down, right? You have your chemical spill down. It's ready to go, but it doesn't look right. It's a little plasticky, right? You're gonna pull out in your render, in the render section. You're gonna find your material tool. Your material tool is used. This is the thing I was warning you about not doing on the trees. So if you have trees you're spawning in your dupe, don't use it on the trees. But you can choose something like this. You see how it looks like kind of a liquid. You can choose any liquids really if you want to do, if you're going for a chemical, right? Just have it make sense. Make it make sense, right? Also, what I do for chemical spills, I always no collide it. So now that I've materialed it, I'm gonna go to my construction and I'm gonna go to my no collide everything. This tool is used if you want something to be, if you want to walk through something. So let's say, like with the fire, for example, I purposely no collided this so you can walk through it. So it's not a static prop. If it was a static prop, if you want something to stay static that you had no collided, you'd press R to enable collisions. Now I can't walk through it anymore. You press right click to no collide it. Now I can walk through it. So same with this. I no collided it, I right clicked, I can now walk through this. Be careful with this though. You need to always, so let's say you're building, you wanted to shove this in the ground, let's say, as like a destroyed crate. Like, oh no, it's a destroyed crate now. Don't forget to recollide your props after that. So press R to re-enable collisions, so you don't have randomly no collided props. Alright? So you can do something like this. This adds a little bit more immersion. Oh my god, that destroyed the crates. Oh my goodness. So the reason why I brought up the no collide tool, where did we go? There was a house we were in. Yes. For chemical spills, I always say for the troopers to not get stuck, it's good to no collide it and leave it no collided. That way, they don't get stuck when they're doing their vacuumable entity, which is a tool I can't show you on here, but I can show you on my other Gmod. So, when you are in game, you'll have the SGN event tools, you'll have the vacuumable entity tool, and you can simply just left click on a prop that you want to be vacuumable, which 91st can suck up as a chemical spill. So you won't have all the tools you have on here. Some of them are server side, like the drop pod, drop ship, NPC spawn creator, vacuumable entities. A lot of these are really server side. So you can't, there's a lot of stuff you can't test in your single player, so you gotta make sure it's tested before your event. So now it's no collided, right? You can run through it, and then let's say it's vacuumable. You could have your guy sitting here, he's bleeding out, he's got blood everywhere. Let's say, who shot me? I'll kill you, Africa. Alright, does that make sense? Vacuumable entities, all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be your situation. This is for 91st, right? You got one situation solely here for 91st. Does this trooper have any information now? Does he have information of where to go next?
Yeah, he can. He can,
Okay.
because he was the sole survivor of the attack, so he pretty much knows what direction they took the supplies from the area.
Yep. And then you can tie that in. So you can have him be like, all right, it's this area. But then you can also have something else set up for 501st in this area, right? let's say you want to give them a TX, right? You want to give them a TX. This was a Republic base, right? So
Yep.
no collide this tank. I'm gonna put it in the ground a little bit. All right. It was destroyed. Oh my god. Well, I'm gonna make sure I re-collide it, and then I can search up rubble. No, not cute rubble. Just rubble. Put some rubble next. Oh, that's too big. Put some rubble next to it. Get my advanced duplicator. I can have it on fire as well. Do. Oops. And boom, 501st can also be repairing this while this situation's going on simultaneously. You always want to make sure you're thinking of every battalion and what they could be doing. So this could be like a thing for 501st, and then 91st can have this thing in here. Everybody else can start defending. Right. And then you said we're going to move out after this?
Yeah.
All right. You got this, right? You got this complex. You got some things going on in here. You got props down, right? It looks good. You got like some scenery. Then you said you're going to be moving out this direction, right? The normal path that people go?
Yeah, we can take the bridge area.
Okay. So I'll just use these because it's the basic one. I never use it, but what did I name this folder? Small prop dupes. That's why I don't even have it saved. It's just how much I don't use this one. Just make sure they're not floating. So like, try to position them where you can. It's kind of a little too close. I wouldn't even do one there, honestly. You can set up a situation on the bridge for shock. There's like a droid guarding the bridge. Oh my god, they can't get past. Shock. Talk to the droid. See what's going on. Could have a situation like that. You want to have just situations everywhere. Try to have as many EC interactions as possible.
Yeah, I'd probably have the droid be either in the truck or in the house.
Yeah,
And this will be like one of the
you have somebody
like
here.
back lines of where the supply convoy was going.
Yep. So as long as you have your end goal in mind and what you want to do, it's easy to build a dupe from there. It's like, again, more world props. There's a lot on this map. These don't count towards anything, so don't do anything with them. Alright, so like, which direction would you want to go? Would you want to go this way? Want to go that way?
I'd probably, well, I only see one really big building that we could possibly go to, other than the factory, but I don't want to go to the factory area. So
Wanna go
we'd
this
probably
way?
go, yeah, we'd probably go over here where the fucking long tunnel is and everything like that.
Okay. You can set up a situation in here. Make sure 212 has something to do with like a bomb somewhere throughout your mission. But don't just make it as simple. 212, fly up ball tower, defuse bomb, run back down. Make everyone's objectives equally as interesting, and give them an equal roleplay opportunity. It's gonna take some time to get used to, but it's okay. Because Shock always has their negotiations, guaranteed. Right? We always have Shock negotiations. Let's make sure we're guaranteeing something for every battalion too. And you don't need to follow the same basic path everyone else takes. I have a
I don't even know what the basic path is.
So the basic path. I mean, you'll play some events, and you'll tend to notice that everyone takes the same path. You can get creative with it. So let's say we finish the dupe, right? Dupe is done. It's all done. Purdy. It's 250 props exactly. We're not splitting it up into parts. If you want to know how to split it up into parts, I can show you. But if you're not interested right now, you just want to learn the basics, that's fine. We can do this next class with splitting it up. Unless you're interested in learning.
I mean, I don't mind, but I think the Valley is a good map because it has so much cover and already stuff placed down. So you
Sure.
don't have to really worry too much about the prop limit.
Alrighty. So, we'll teach you how to use your smart weld tool, right? So, you got your smart welder, right? You're going to want to, what I do, you could do this if it's safer, but you could set your limit to 1,000, and then you can hold E and left click. That will do a radius of 1,000. everything will light up green that has been selected. So that's been selected, but you see that hasn't been selected. That wasn't in the radius. See how these world props are not getting selected because they don't count towards this radius. But I can show you the way that it does mess up, and it's probably something I don't even want you to get into the habit of doing. But yeah, like you can't even select these with your weld tool. So what I do if I am not splitting my dupe up into any parts is I just select this value. I spam the number 9 all the way. And what I do is I hold E, I left click. You see it? Oh, never mind. That's wrong. God, I hate this map. Guess you can't do it here. I never used Dark Valley, so.
You can't
Probably
do
so.
what?
Can't do the select because it still selects world props for some reason.
Oh yeah, no. You gotta do every
you
single
can't right
prop.
click on it either.
You gotta individually do every single prop.
Yeah, that's why I hate this map. I never use it. But you can also left click to select all your props. If you already select something that's welded, it'll take everything that's already welded with it. So you gotta go find all your props that you've put down.
Don't forget the barriers.
Yep. Including your chem spills. That doesn't light up green because it's material, but we've selected it. Once you know you're in an area with no world props, you can use that like auto select. That'll grab everything in the area. Once you know there's no world props, you'll start to learn on maps where world props are, but alrighty. So now you've got everything. Oh, you don't. Just make sure everything's green. Once you've got everything and you want to weld it, you're going to find a prop that you know you're never going to delete during your dupe. You're going to hold E, and then you're going to right click. Your instructions are on the left side of your screen on what to do if you ever get lost. But holding E and left clicking will select the radius that you've set. Just left clicking will select a prop or deselect a prop for the weld. Don't press R because that'll clear all your selections and you'll have to go back and do it all over again. You want to make sure now that if you have all your props, you're going to hold E and right click. See at the bottom right it says 28 props have been selected? It's because I didn't select all these fire ones.
How come mine says 100 and 111 props?
Because how many props did you put down? Let's say the top left.
It was 4.
Okay, because you probably selected all the world props.
Oh, how do I not select the world props then?
That's why you have to go around and you have to individually left click on this map especially. You have to left click everything. Does that make sense why I'm doing it this way?
Okay.
So get your weld tool, right? Your normal weld tool. Find the prop that you had welded everything to. So do you remember the prop you welded everything to?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. I'm gonna.
So you need to get your regular weld tool. If you want to start over, you're gonna get the regular weld tool and just press R. That'll clear all the selections on everything that was welded.
Okay, I
So you have
got
your
you.
normal weld tool and your smart weld tool. Smart weld tool does not remove welds. Only your weld tool does this. So
Okay.
make sure you start over and make sure you're not doing radius. If you want to do radius and you know it's a map like Geonosis doesn't have any world props. Like big maps like that you just don't have houses everywhere, they don't have world props. You don't have to worry about accidentally selecting something that you don't want part of your dupe again. Maps like this, you need to worry about it. So you just make sure you go around, individually select your dupe. If I really cared, I would have done all the fire ones, but I honestly don't care if we don't get them all. Get all your barriers, get all your tanks, everything you've placed down.
And then how do I save this stuff?
Alright, so do you have everything welded? Did it weld properly?
Yeah.
Okay. So
It moves
remember,
together and
once you have
everything.
everything selected, you're gonna hold E and then right click. Now my props have been welded properly. So now you need to find the I think it's always good to stay with the prop that you welded everything to. You're gonna hold Q, go to your advanced duplicator. You're gonna spam right click just to make sure you got it. Right? Don't select anything else. You're gonna see your crate. I would say paste it. Make sure you got everything. So I got random floating barriers. I can press Z to undo it. Probably the smarter way of making sure you have it saved on your advanced, well, not saved, but selected on your advanced duplicators by going to dupe information. And it should say at the bottom here, entities 29, constraints 28. Constraints is the amount of welds in your dupe. So you need to make sure your dupe is welded. If it is not welded, it could create lag. That's why we weld. Okay.
Okay.
So did you right click the prop with your advanced duplicator?
Yeah, I'm able to copy and paste it.
Okay. Does it say, go to dupe information, does it say the amount of entities that was supposed to be on that dupe? Is that the proper one?
It says 4 entities, and there's 4 entities.
That's what you did? You placed down 4 props?
Yeah.
Perfect. So it's saved properly. So now you're going to go to whatever folder, and you're going to save it. So you're going to right click on the folder, you're going to select save, and you're going to name this like, I don't know, my fun event. And you're going to click save. And you're going to click save. I think it's sometimes the folder messes up. If this happens where it says files not saving, you need to make a new folder. I had this issue yesterday. So I'll just make a new folder.
Doing that right now.
My fun event. So I'll save it. My fun event. This thing. This thing. Alright, so if it doesn't save into a folder, you can always save it into the main Advanced Duplicator 2 folder. I don't know why it's been having an issue for me recently.
Got it. It works for me.
Alright, so make sure before you delete your dupe, before you exit out of your game, before any of that, you want to go find that file. And you want to left click it a bunch of times to make sure you're ghosting the proper one. And you want to click paste at original position. You'll do this when you launch your dupe, when you do an event. You're going to select paste at original location. And you're just going to make sure it pastes. Right?
Oh, that's how y'all do it. Okay,
One way of
okay.
making sure that it pasted is if I remove this prop, does it stay again? Yep, it does. So I successfully saved it. So now you can press Z to undo it. Now that you have confirmed that it is officially there, you can use your remover tool now. Your remover tool, if you left click on a prop, right, you know that removes it. That just removes the prop, right? It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But if you right click, oh, I deleted the prop that everything was welded to, but right click on your end, if you right click with the remover tool, it'll delete everything that was welded to it.
Okay.
So now everything's gone.
If I go to my remover tool,
Right click anything. If it's all welded, it should be able to right click it.
Yep. It all disappears.
And then just triple make sure in your advanced duplicator you paste your dupe again. Just so you don't exit the game without making sure your dupe isn't there. But if everything pastes correctly, you've got your dupe. It's ready.
Yeah, okay, alright. Alright.
Any questions about any of that? The process of saving dupes or welding
No,
dupes?
but I imagine that's how you make your multiple dupes that you said you were gonna.
Yeah, so I'll show you. I have a dupe that I recently did on this map that is split up into multiple parts. It's called Deveron. So I have the part I need for transitions. Where the fuck is that? Oh, this way. And then I have part 1. So I don't follow the traditional path. I think it's boring. Not saying it's wrong to do. I've just seen it so many times. So I'm going this way. I move the troops. I've made my own little forest here even. So well, that's a bad example. So I have my prop limit is 400. I have 398 props down. So I've got my props down. They go through this. They would need to go to the next part. Once I'm ready, I can just right click a part that I don't want anymore. And I can put part 2 down. So that's how I exceed my prop limit. So if you're ever wanting to exceed your prop limit, just make sure we did that exact same process, but you have a transitional phase. Like this temple here. This was my transitional phase. I didn't delete this part. I just deleted everything that was back that way in part 1. See how that's all gone now? I had this is my transitional phase. I just deleted part 2 right now. This is my transitional phase. The troopers will continue to stay here as I get part 2 pasted. So it's not it doesn't break the immersion for them, essentially. I mean, they're going to see the trees pop up, but at least they're still going to be here, right? And then they'll just move on. They'll keep doing this whole shebang here. Let's say it. Again, not a big fan of this map, just because of the world props. But you can do anything. You can go anywhere. You can set 90. I would say the best thing for 91st to do during any of your events is send him on a recon mission. Put something far away that they can go find. That's very fun for them. You just want to make your events as fun as possible for everyone involved and make sure everyone is equally doing something.
And what map is this? I'd probably do
This
it
is Dark
on
Valley.
whatever map this is. Yeah, Dark Valley or Dark Escape. Escape.
So this is Dark Valley. Darkscape is a little different. It's got a higher skybox. Probably wrong on that. I forget which one has the low skybox.
But I would definitely send them on a scouting mission on Dark
Yeah, you can
Escape.
set up something so far away as long as it's still welded and saved into your dupe. You just need, as long as everything's welded, you can still just right click the prop you've welded everything to, and it will save whatever's like 70 miles away, right? So like, this is Darkscape. This has got a higher skybox. It's got houses everywhere too, just like kind of like Dark Valley, but the skybox is so much higher. So you can actually have air battles here. I think Dark Valley is the one with the small skybox, so you can't do like flight stuff there. But you always got to remember where people are spawning, right? That's always the big thing. If you don't know where they're spawning, you're gonna accidentally build your dupe into them.
Where are they spawning on this map?
On this map, I believe it's right here, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably
am mistaken if I'm being honest. I never use this map too much either. Definitely over here though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like right here. Am I right, Africa? Do we spawn here on Darkscape? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you can set up a situation over here with like some city or something. But you always want to make sure your dupe makes it to at least 45 on the for the hour. It is okay to do an hour and a half event as long as the troopers are enjoying it. If it's getting stale and they're not having fun anymore, it's not good to go for an hour and a half. But if you need that time to tell your story and do your event and the troopers are enjoying it, they're having fun, go over 45. I'd say a lot of the pitfall a lot of GMs go into is they see it's 45. They can be right here. They haven't finished their entire event. All right, we're leaving. Get the lat. We're out of here. It's time to end the event. Oh my God, we're leaving. Bye. Woo! Don't do that. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's not fun for the troopers. And again, more world props, I believe, somewhere.
It's further down. It's the BTRs.
Here they are. more world props. Be careful with these. Yeah, you can set up situations any way you want, as long as it makes sense and the troopers have a clear path on what to do. Any questions on that and on how to set up an event? Any questions so far that you still want to see, you still want to go over?
Not right now. I'm kind of a more learn as I go type,
Mm-hmm.
but so whenever I am doing it, I probably will have questions.
That's fine. You could feel free to always reach out to me. I can jump in a VC with you, and you can stream, and I can correct you on what you should be doing or should not be doing. But I would say right now is start making your first dupe. How many events first do you feel like you want to claim this week?
Um, well, as far as because I have a story in mind, but it's just a matter of what I can build for it. But I don't know. How many events are there per week?
So if you want to get promoted to GM, you need to host at least 3 events in 1 week.
Oh, I can do a lot more than 3 events in
We
1 week.
have yeah, so we have in a week we host 30 events, right? So if you feel comfortable, you can claim 3 events. So
Oh
I'll
yeah.
show you where to claim events because everyone pre-claims now. It's just the new. It's kind of what we do on GM. So you're gonna go to the claimed events tab. Once this ping has been sent out about the GM meeting, so you see how Africa sent this ping out on the 28th. Once this ping has been sent out, that's when the GM team gets the go ahead to go to claimed events, and they get to pre-claim. So let's say I'm pre-claiming. Let's pretend Africa sent out the ping for the meeting, right? So I'll look at the dates. I'll see what I've got. So we got next week is gonna be it's gonna be the 8th through the 14th is what we can claim. So let's say I'm cardboard. I'm wanting to pre-claim. I would write pre-claim, and on 12/9/24, I want event 4. On 12/10/24, I want event 1. And then on 12/12/24, I want event, I don't know, 2. We do have the 24-hour event on this week, so no one's going to be able to claim for the, I think, like 3rd and 4th for Friday, and all of 14. This is the 24-hour event. This is where you need to have your passives ready. So get ready for that. That's coming up. But this is where you'll be able to pre-claim your events. So if you feel like you want to go for your promotion, go ahead and pre-claim 3 events when this GM meeting ping has been sent out. But you can have them in mind, have them ready. It's a first come, first served basis, okay? So if you're the first one to put event 4, event 1, and event 2, that's all yours, as long as that ping has been sent out. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. I just can't do for right now. I can't do. I don't think I could. I think I could do 3, but 3 might be pushing it. I know I can't do 4.
If you feel like you can't do 3, claim 1 or 2. But
No,
you need
I
at
mean
least
like
3.
event wise, like event numbers, because I know 4 is like late at night, but I work nights
Oh,
for right
those
now.
ones, yeah, okay. That's fine. I mean, then claim the earlier ones. As long as you get your pre-claims in first, you're guaranteeing that those events are going to be yours. So pre-claiming is very important. So whenever that GM meeting ping goes out, probably like, I don't know. I think they usually do it 2 days before the meeting. That's when you put your pre-claims in. Does that make sense? How to pre-claim, how to do it? Very important if you want to do events at a certain time. If you don't pre-claim, you're not going to get the events you want. I'm telling you right now.
I got you.
It's just going to help you out. We do have the 24-hour event coming up. You as a TGM, you have to at least host 5 passives. Do you know how to host a passive?
Not entirely.
So a passive is anything that's on base, like right here. I was shot. Anything that's on base right here. So you could be I'm gonna get this present, Africa. It's over for you.
What?
Getting this present right here.
Fuck you.
How many presidents do you guys have, by the way?
Give me my goddamn present. I have
That's
230.
That was
You
my
really
first
have
present.
230?
Anyway, so passives happen on base. So like, you know, like sometimes when the droids attack Vardos, or like there's gonna be a droidica that runs in and tries killing everybody, or someone tries to go invade the Jedi Temple. Those are passives. Passives are events that can happen on base. So just we're gonna kind of have like a base setup because we're gonna be on base map for the 24-hour events. So if you need help with passives, let me know. But you need to at least do 5. So have some ideas ready for that.
Okay. I start my LOA on the 14th, by the way.
Oh, you do? Okay, so you won't
Yeah.
be here for the
Trying
24-hour?
to hit you.
You hit me. You succeeded. School shooter. School shooter. Run. There's a
School
shooter.
sniping.
Run.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, hell jumper.
Oh my god.
I'm joking, man. Lightsaber. Oh my god. Oh my god, run.
It's the school sniping.
Gunhawk's going to investigate.
He's going to investigate. I wasn't here. I shall vanish.
Any questions about events? How to start them? How to save them? These are the basics. You need to know.
No, not really.
You know
I
your
just wanted to
material
know how to.
Right. You know your material. Oh yeah. Oh shit. I should probably tell you. There's items that can crash the server. Let's go over them. This fella, he can crash the server. Don't get blood on him at any cost. If you want to put him somewhere, you put him up somewhere high. Don't put these down low where people are going to get blood on them. These will crash the server. The arcs will also crash the server. If blood gets on them, these will crash the server. Don't put them anywhere people will get shot at. The V-Wings kinda, but I don't think so anyone fucking uses them. Just
Oh!
parts. What?
I got a question because I saw it and I want to know what it is. So there's a vehicle. I saw. Let me find out. Let me find it. The T-Export 27.
Oh, the one that flops around?
Oh, it doesn't really flap around per se.
I think I know which one you're... It's the one that doesn't say static, right?
Yeah, it's that one.
Yeah. That you can't spawn, it's a ragdoll. So you can spawn it in your single player, but because it has physics like this, you cannot spawn it in server. Anything that's a ragdoll that moves like this, you can't spawn during the event. So it will just not spawn in. So ragdolls, like these guys, you can't have these in your events. They just won't spawn.
Wait a minute.
If you have a question, if you're unsure if something will spawn in your event, feel free to ask me. But I can
It's
tell
not
you.
ragdolling for me.
Oh, because you probably have the static one. There's the static one. Right, the one that doesn't.
Well, I can get in it and drive it too.
In your single player?
Yeah, I'll show you.
How?
It's probably spawning the actual entity.
Mine doesn't work.
If I was to like rotate it, isn't it like?
Stream real quick. Let me see.
It's this
hop
one.
in it.
I go to orbital vehicles,
Yeah.
and it's this one.
How?
You have the real LFS. Oh my god.
And then I can get in it and I can use it.
No fucking shit. Yeah, don't spawn entities into your dupes. Entities will not save. So do not include them as part of your dupe.
They will save.
They will.
Yeah, entities will save.
Don't put entities in your dupe.
But don't do it. Never put an entity unless it's a data pad. You can have a data pad in your dupe.
Oh really? Will
But
that count towards your entity limit?
Yeah, it'll count toward the entity limit, but you can save in your dupe. It's in a lot of burnt bomb dupes because they had to defuse the special bombs.
So I'm so shocked that you have this.
That I have this.
I
That's
can't spawn this.
LVS.
Oh, it's LVS.
That's not That's not LFS. LVS.
Guess it's different. Yeah, never put them in your dupe. Only have the props.
Okay, but I can't use this though, right? This is a usable thing.
I mean, you can have 501st, use it as a vehicle, but under no circumstance can you spawn that as the actual tank in your dupe. That's an entity, right? You cannot have entities in your dupe. You can have 501st use it, by all means, no problem. But you understand what I mean by that?
In a way.
What's confusing you about that? What do you want to do? Just tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you yes or no.
To spawn this in as like a vehicle that they can use
During your event.
Yes.
during the event.
During the building process, no.
Okay, so I can. Is there like a? I guess I can make like a fake destroyed portion of one.
Yeah, you can make it. You just search up TX in your spawn lists. So go ahead and do that real quick. So go to spawn lists at the very left. No, not very left. Spawn list, top left. No.
Top left.
Top left.
Oh.
Spawn lists. Yep. Search up TX. Enter. Wait for the prop to load. That's the TX 130. You can have that in your dupe. That's a prop. But that's the one that wiggles. That one you can't have. That's a ragdoll. You gotta find the one that's static. Yeah, that one. It says static. Perfect. That you can have. And 501st can repair that. That's fine. No problem with that. Just can't have the flight school one.
And you don't have this? How do you not have this?
I don't know. I have it. It just won't let me spawn it. Like, look. I can't. It's like spawning, but it's like not spawning at the same time. It's weird.
Haha! I got a unique vehicle that only I can use.
Not during your single player, yeah. Anyone can use it during on server.
Haha.
Any other questions before we start to wrap this up? This is kind of a long class.
Oh shit! There's actually pieces to it.
So you can set it up anyway. I would say start building your dupe now, so you have it ready, and then I can go over it with you. Okay. That sound like a plan? Okay. Start building your dupe as early as possible, so you're ahead of the game. So when it comes time to claiming events, you've already got your dupe ready, so you don't got to stress about like, oh god, I got to get my dupe done.
Well, I was doing that yesterday, but I didn't know how to save it, and Carp didn't tell me how to save it. But he wanted me to get on.
Oh my god, Carp! Oh my.
So
what you had to do?
He tried to explain to me how to use the tool, and then he made me accidentally delete the whole dupe. So I fucking lost everything.
Oh my god, Carp!
Oh my god, you DM one of us if you have any questions. We'll help you immediately.
I'm your mentor, so I will answer any question you may have.
Okay, but these, I can use stuff like this though, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
But like, get your weld tool out, and you can like area copy. So go to your weld smart, right? Hold Q, and you can set. I wouldn't set the limit to that. Like, press that. No, press the that, and you can like select the area. So like put it like 100 or something, and then hold E and left click.
Put it
like 100. Hold E and left click. E and left click.
I am holding E.
Yep, you're selecting multiple things there, and it's in a small area, so you're not grabbing every world prop in the universe. So now it's all welded. So show me how to save it. I just want to make sure you've picked that up. Nope. Gotta get your advanced duplicator. Get the tool. You have it in your hand. Right click it. Remember, you gotta right click the prop 1,000 times. Make sure you have it. You're ghosting it. All right, perfect. You got it. You can see the ghost. Now you can save. What you were about to do is you were about to just save something random. Now make sure you check your dupe information at the bottom. Make sure you have it. It was 8 props. So, dupe information. Do you have 8 props?
8 props.
28 constraints.
Oh,
Something's not right.
ew.
Do you have anything else welded in the world?
How do I unweld it?
Alright, so I think you have different.
You didn't weld it properly.
Yeah.
You welded them to each other, not all to one prop.
So go ahead and get your regular weld tool out and click R on everything. Make sure everything. If you can't click it, it's already unwelded. Okay. Do you have any other props down in this world? First of all, that are
I mean, I
currently
could-
smart welded. Did you place anything else down? Is what I'm trying to ask.
No, only this stuff.
So get your smart weld.
Okay.
And you're gonna E left click. Okay. Keep selecting until you have all 8 props. Alright.
E
now
right
E
click.
right click on one of them. E right click. 8 props have been
There you
welded
go.
to a single prop. Alright, try it again now. Get your advanced duplicator. You're gonna right click a bunch of times just to make sure you have it. It's just always my method. You don't have to do that. Now hold Q. Now, delete that save because you were deleting.
Well, it wasn't saved yet, but okay.
All right, save it. So you have your dupe. Go to your dupe information. Perfect. Look, you have 8 entities, 7 constraints. Perfect. That's what you want to see. You have all 8 of your props, and your constraints are 7. Your
So you always want the
constraints-
constraint to be 1 below the entity?
It doesn't need to be. It could, as long as it's close enough. If it's like so far over, like the 28 over 8, there was a problem there, right?
Okay.
Ask if you're unsure. But you can save it. You can name it your TX427. And then there's the save icon. Click that, yep. And then just make sure it's saved by placing it down again. And then remember, do you know how to place it at its original location? Yep, perfect. And that's how you save.
Gibbity.
Easy and skippity.
Okay. So I might have them just use this rather than the ATTE.
That's fine. It's your event. You can run it how you need to.
I just don't want them to have this fucking thing here.
It's gonna stay there. You can cover it with a rock if you'd like, but it's just gonna stay there. That's what I do with world props, and I just cover it with a
You
rock.
can try to remove it. Some of them are removable.
That one.
Not
is.
all of them.
Yeah, it's not.
Remove the crates,
Crates can be,
probably.
but you're gonna have to remove them again in post, like when you switch maps. So you'll just go run around removing the world props. It's just a hassle.
Oh,
I just
have
put a big
the-
rock over things and then call it a day. Any questions? Anything at all? I feel like we're gonna start wrapping this up here. Unless you got
Nope.
anything else from me. Okay.
That should be it. If I have a question, I'm pretty sure I'll just message.
Certainly DM me.